Good day, greeting students. I am very happy to meet you all again in grade 12 economics. We are in IED, the Indian Economic Development. So far we have completed 2 chapters in IED. We learned about how was Indian economy during the colonial rule and after independence till the period of 1990. So we had 2 different periods to discuss about. So we already spoke about before independence, so somewhere around 1947, okay, and the second category was between 1950 to 1990. Yeah, 1950 to 1990 solrom appadina. This was when the constitution started. 1950 only a new Indian constitution was framed and many changes were brought into the Indian government. So 1947 varaiku it was a colonial government. British were ruling us. So their decisions were final when it came to government also. So government decisions liyum paathom appadina ivangaloda decisions da final ah irunduchu. We had to follow whatever they said. Okay, we had to follow whatever they said. Now from changing there ange irundu 1950 la or pudusa or economy start pannittu, depending on that economy bringing changes and bringing economic reforms was a huge thing. So let us quickly recall how was Indian economy before 1947 and how was it during 1950 to 1990. So before 1947 we were a dependent economy. How were we, children? We were a dependent economy. So country oda economical position enga dhaan dependent ah irundhuchu, British rule kitta dependent ah irundhuchu. What had we become? We became the exporters of raw materials. We simply became the what? Exporters of raw materials and consumers of final goods. Whose final goods? Their final goods. British produce panna goods oda consumers ah namma aitom. Why? Because the raw materials were all shipped to other country. British ku full raw materials kudutaachu. We did not have industries to produce that. We did not have what? Industries to produce products. So appo namakku vera option illa, we had to depend on them for final goods. Nammaloda final goods nama engendhu dhaan vaangi aganum, foreign goods dhaan nama final products ah irunduchu. Okay, how was agriculture? In agriculture we had problems like the zamindari system and the rent settlement. Okay, so what was that? British were collecting rents from this zamindars. Rentingra madriyana oru vishayam, oru revenue they were collecting it from the zamindars to give them the power. So and the rent or and the amount pay panna mattunda zamindars will have the power over the particular piece of land. And it was known that the tillers of land were not the owners of the land. All the work பண்றவங்க எல்லாரும் owners இல்லாம போயிடுச்சு. Someone else's land. And there was a subsistence farming system. So what was the farming? Subsistence farming. What was subsistence farming? Producing for they themselves அவங்களோட ஃபேமிலிக்கு சஃபிஷியண்ட்டாக இருக்கிற அளவு ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணால் போதும்னு இருந்துச்சு. they did not think about producing for a profit, marketable surplus, மார்க்கெட்டுக்கு கொடுக்குற அளவுக்கு அவங்களால ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ண முடியலை. they did not do that because they did not have the incentive to do that. அதுக்கு இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுற அளவுக்கு அவங்களுக்கு என்ன ப்ராஃபிட்டும் கிடைக்கல. all right, and then how was industrial sector? Industrial sector, maximum industries were only jute and cotton. So there was not a wide variety or a classification there. Ange ennada irundichu, we had only jute and cotton industries. We did not have much of other kinds of industries. Even if we have industries, we can't run them because raw materials avanga kudututom illaya. So when we don't have raw materials, there is no use of industries. And once handicraft industry fell, there was no replacement for it. adukku badila கொண்டு வர மாதிரி எந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியுமே அங்கே இல்லை. we did not have any industries to equalize the place of handicrafts industry. Okay, of course there was this introduction of railways. Why did they have this railways? You know, to take this raw materials from our country to their country. நம்ம கண்ட்ரியிலேருந்து அவங்க கண்ட்ரிக்கு ரா மெட்டீரியல்ஸை ஷிப் பண்ணணும், கொண்டு போகணுங்கிறதுக்காக அவங்களுக்கு என்ன பண்ணாங்க? they brought in the system of railways and seaports. So this is entirely for their benefit, not for our benefit. நமக்கு கிடைச்ச பெனிஃபிட் என்ன? out of this, on one thing that people enjoyed is transportation was made easier. avangaloda goods kondu poradhukku when they wanted to travel, railways was helping. But were we becoming a rich country because of that, or was it towards the development of our country? Means no, it wasn't doing anything about the development of our country. It was doing everything about their country. Alright children, anything they brought, railways, telegram system, எல்லாமே அவங்களோட பெனிஃபிட்காக தான் இருந்துச்சு. It wasn't for our benefit. Alright children, so in short, the economy that came into our hands was really trembling. நம்ம ஒரு பாசிட்டிவான பொசிஷனில் இருக்கலை. நம்மளோட economy was really facing great difficulties. Okay, and so when India became independent, we wanted to have our economy a self-reliant one. நம்மளோட economy எப்படி இருக்கணும்னு நம்ம ட்ரீம் பண்ணோம். economically also we should be independent. We should not depend on others for anything, especially for food ன்னு நினைச்சாங்க. So when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the prime minister, he brought in the economy to be a mixed economy. Okay, that is, it had the benefits, combined benefits of a capitalist economy and socialist economy. ரெண்டோட காம்பினேஷனா mixed economy னு ஒன்று கொண்டு வந்தாரு. And there was a planning commission which gave 5-year plans to achieve. Okay, we have had 5-year plans framed by the planning commission. Then what was the reforms that came in agriculture field? For agriculture, land reforms were brought in. What was brought? Land reforms were brought in. Like what? What kind of land reforms? Land ceiling. This was done for making the tillers the owner. So yella what to say, the economy was in the hands of these zamindars. In the zamindari system close pandradhukaga da, importantly they brought the land ceiling. That is, there was a limit fixed. Ivlo land ku mela you should not hold அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு system கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. That was land ceiling for us. Then we had another reform called the Green Revolution, where HYV seeds were brought in. அதாவது high yielding variety seeds were introduced, and farmers were motivated to produce more, which was called marketable surplus. So avangalukku mattum illama replacing subsistence farming, they can make for others also. So there was a thing called marketable surplus. So HYV seeds first was brought in for wheat and rice, and then slowly they started bringing for other things also. Okay, so these are the various things we discussed about agricultural sector. Moving on, how did it work with industry and trade? What happened with industry and trade? Indian Policy Resolution 1956 was brought into existence. So enna kondu vandanga? Indian Policy Resolution 1956. What was this Indian Policy Resolution? It made, or it classified industries into three. One was public sector, another one was private sector, another one was public sector plus private sector. So one division of industries were only in the hands of public sector. Another group of industries were with public plus private. Adavadhu the main role was played by the public sector, and private sectors were there to support. When you talk about the industries that were in the hands of private sector, they were not a liberalized sector. Anga vandu nariya systems irunduchu, nariya rules and regulations irunduchu, nariya restrictions irunduchu. So these all happened with IPR 1956. One more important change, or one more important problem that led towards the economic reforms of 1991 was the import substitution. So what is import substitution? That we should not rely on imports. Nammo imports expect panna koodadhu. We have to be self reliant no policy irukku illaya. So we have to be self reliant means we should not be depending on imports. Edume import panna koodadhu. There were lots and lots of restrictions on import. Through what? They had two things. One was called tariffs, and another one was called as quotas. What were these? Tariffs and quotas. Tariffs means taxes and duties on imports. Quotas in nama solradhu, there was a maximum limit. Alright children, what were the effects, what were the criticisms because of this IPR 1956? The growth rate of industrial sector increased considerably, and public sectors faced huge loss. Why? Public sectors had too much to look into. Avangalukku nariya work irunduchu. So many industries were in their hands. Right? So many industries were there in their hands, public sector. So they were not able to concentrate equally. That was a problem. Aduve innoru problem enna appadina, this public sectors, even though they faced huge loss, they did not leave it. And the industries தொடர்ந்து run பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருந்தாங்க. This led to huge loss and deficit. So in 1990, from mid 1980s, அதாவது from 1985, the Indian economy started struggling. So we had to face so many deficits, and we had to borrow, we had to we had to pledge our gold, நம்மளோட countryயோட gold basketல இருந்த gold pledge பண்ண வேண்டியது. So many things happened. So what were the things that led towards it? எதனால இதெல்லாம் நடந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா, even though the public sector was in loss, they were running it and they were concentrating much ங்கிறது it's a criticism. Since imports were entirely curtailed, imports அங்கே இல்லைங்கிறப்போ foreign exchange was also falling. Imports exports தான் நமக்கு foreign exchange reserves கொடுக்கும், அது என்டையராக ட்ராப் ஆகிடுச்சு. ஸோ that means we cannot go in for borrowing more or to get the support of other financial institutions. Okay, and the domestic producers were very lethargic about the production. So avanga goods வந்து they were not producing in the right method or it was not up to the quality. நம்ம expect பண்ண qualityக்கு it was not to the mark because they know that they don't have a competition. நம்ம government என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, they protected the Indian producers from the competition. So when there is no competition, they can do anything they want. Those are the only products available. So as we have discussed in the previous session, இப்போ எனக்கு இந்த கம்பெனியோட ஸ்கூட்டி பிடிக்கலன்னா I can go for another company scooty. But when I want to travel in a public bus, if I don't like the seat, I can't change it. Someone else will be sitting there. அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு பொசிஷனில் நம்ம இருந்தோம். We were not having any choices, so we didn't have other go but to choose only the domestic products which were not up to the mark. Okay, all these problems led towards what? Led towards the new industrial policy, the new economical policy that was released in 1991. Before going into that, let us discuss a little bit more about how we fell into it. அது என்ன மாதிரியான deficit, what are the various things we had to face, all these things let us discuss and then we'll talk about these important economic reforms. So your unit 2 is going to be about these economic reforms. What are those economic reforms, children? Liberalization, privatization and globalization. If you remember, liberalization எதுக்கு அப்படின்னா to promote private industries to produce more. அவங்க ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு, அவங்க இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்குள்ளே வர்றதுக்காக we had liberalization because licensing system was very difficult. Then came privatization. We saw that public sector had too much to do. அவங்க நிறைய இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் அவங்க கிட்ட இருந்துச்சு. So through privatization they gave it to private sector. Globalization, imports were curtailed, exports not possible. ஏன் export possible இல்லைம்மா? Because we wanted to be self-reliant. So whatever we produced, enough for us, நமக்கு மட்டும்தான் பத்துச்சு. We could not do anything more, we could not produce more, we could not sell to the other countries. So exports also was less. So that changed through the reform of globalization. Those were the three important things that came through these economic reforms. Okay, so a little bit of what has led us towards this. இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் discuss பண்ணலாம், like what led us into this particular situation. All right, so we know that our economy became a mixed economy. We already discussed that point. How did it affect us is what we are going to do. So what was our economy now? A mixed economy. It had the benefits of capitalist economy and socialist economy. And then what did we do? நம்மளோட இந்த planning commission கொடுத்த இந்த first 7-year plans நால Yes, of course, the industry's growth rate has increased, but how has it changed means hampering the process of growth and development. நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிட்டோம், we wanted to be self-reliant. To be self-reliant, we brought in restrictions on everything. நிறைய ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ஷன்ஸ் கொண்டு வந்தோம். பப்ளிக் செக்டார் மட்டும்தான் இருக்கணும், ப்ரைவேட் செக்டார் there was a restriction. You want to import, restriction. You want to export, restriction. You want to export your business, expand your business, restriction. எல்லாத்துலேயுமே restrictions. So this slowed down the development, the growth and development. So what did it do? It actually slowed down our growth and development. What happened? It slowed down our growth and development. So India, which started its developmental path from near stagnation, has since been able to achieve growth. Okay, what happened? We started having it, we started achieving growth. Ana adu enge pochu? It was a slower progress. Angirna anga vandirukom from a very difficult stage we have increased, but still it was not up to the level. We had to go in through a lot. So from mid 1980s we say so exactly in 1985 India had to go through a thing called twin deficit. Not one deficit, twin deficit. What do we mean by deficit? When the expenditures are more than the revenue, then that is called as a deficit. So twin deficit na rendu deficit. What were those deficits? First deficit was in the Indian trade balance. So our trade balance was going, balance of payments padichom illaya, balance of trade we have, right? In that was in deficit. Another deficit was fiscal deficit. Do you remember, children? We studied in open market economy. We studied about fiscal deficit, we studied about capital account, current account, balance of payments, balance of trade. So trade balance deficit la irundhuchu. Fiscal deficit how it was? It was in deficit only. Fiscal balance also was in deficit. So what happened? This aggregated, kept on going, kept on changing, and we had to face a lot. What kind of things we had to face? So either the reasons enna appadina, for implementing various policies and administration of the government, we want funds from taxation. So nama fund nale first thing we look into tax and running of public sector enterprises. So when the expenditure is more, we know it is called deficit. And when we import goods like petroleum, we pay in dollars which we earn from our export. So mukkiyama nammaloda deficit edanaala vanduchu appadina, because of our petroleum bills. We couldn't pay this petroleum bills. Nama adhigama export பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தது அப்போ import பண்ணது petroleum bill, petroleum. So adu நம்ம எப்படி pay பண்ண முடியும்? Through your exports. But exports were less, right? So this was one situation. And what happened around 1990, there was a depreciation of rupee. Rupee oda value romba koranjiruchu. Okay, depreciation of rupee. The value of rupee started falling. Okay, the development policies were not working properly. Why were the development policies were not working properly? Whatever we tried, it didn't work. Weren't working well. Because of what? Because of population, population was huge. அத்தனை பேருக்கு நம்மளால employment opportunities கொடுக்க முடியல. So obviously what happened next? Unemployment. Population was more. So next thing effect will be unemployment. And finally we had to face poverty. ஸோ இதனால் இதை மேனேஜ் பண்ணுறதுக்கே நமக்கு கஷ்டமாக போச்சு. டு மேனேஜ் ஆர் பாப்புலேஷன் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோஷன், டு மேனேஜ் ஆர் அன்எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ், பாவர்ட்டி, வாட் எவர் டெவலப்மெண்ட் பாலிசிஸ் இந்தியா வாஸ் ட்ரைங், எவ்வளோ புஷ் பண்ணாலும் we could not reach there and the result was public enterprisesலேருந்து there was no profit. Tax they couldn't pay because they are already in poverty. So what happens now? Because of this depreciation of rupee, nobody was ready to lend us. நமக்கு வேர்ல்ட் பேங்க்கும் சரி IMFும் சரி, they were not ready to lend anything to us. So we did not get loans from the World Bank the International Monetary Fund. அவங்களும் நமக்கு they are not ready to help. ஏன்னா நம்ம ஒரு டிப்ரெஷன் சிச்சுவேஷனில் இருக்கோம். within 3 days our value went down somewhere. நம்மளோட மானிட்டரி ரிசோர்ஸஸ் ரொம்ப குறைஞ்சிருச்சு within 3 days. So within a fortnight we will not be able to survive என்ற சிச்சுவேஷன் வந்துச்சு. நமக்கு வந்து fortnight வரைக்கும் தான் நம்மளால் ரன் பண்ண முடியும். After that fortnight we can't run the country because we don't have money. We don't have that economical backup with us. So within a fortnight how will you raise ஒரு வீட்டுக்கே in your family or in my family to run a family for a fortnight or 10 days without salary is difficult. So நமக்கு நம்மளோட country is like a big family. They also need what? Income. Without income they could not run. Whatever reserves they had, it will come only for fortnight or 15 days க்கு மட்டும் தான் வரும். After that they won't have anything. They will not have money to run the country ங்கிற ஒரு situation இருக்கு. So what will we do? What could have been done? We did not have the tax backup, no loans, then we could not raise couldn't raise funds through taxation. So that was also not working. நம்மளால taxல இருந்தும் எதுவும் எடுக்க முடியல. So we were pushed to a place where nothing is possible. எதுவுமே நம்மளால attain பண்ண முடியாது. We cannot meet the expenditure of the country. Peopleக்கு தேவை இருக்கு. Unemployment is there. Poverty is there. How will we support the country? It's a big thing. And our foreign exchange borrowed from other countries and international financial institution was spent on meeting consumption needs. நம்ம பீப்புளுக்கு நார்மலாக கொடுக்க வேண்டிய விஷயங்களை வாங்குறதுக்கோ இல்லை சப்ளை பண்ணுறதுக்குமே whatever borrowings, loans, everything went. Neither was an attempt made to reduce profligate spending nor sufficient attention was given to boost exports to pay for the growing imports. நம்ம பெட்ரோலியம் வாங்கிட்டே தான் இருக்கும். Imports are increasing, but there were no motivation for exports. Exports இன்னும் பண்ணவே இல்லை. So when we don't have exports, obviously we cannot have money for import, paying the import bill. Okay, so government expenditure began to exceed its revenue by such large margins that meeting the expenditure through borrowings became unsustainable. So in the mid 1980s, okay, sorry, not mid 1980s, in late 1980s, the deficit was huge. So what did it lead to? Borrowings were not enough. Whatever loans we are getting was not enough. Borrowings weren't enough. Okay? So, as we already saw, there was no country ready to lend us, help us out of this situation. Imports were increasing, we did not have industries, we could not give any exports, so that was really difficult because we had a Gulf War also at the late 1980s. So after Gulf War, what happened means the import bill was increasing. So the import bills were increasing and exports were decreasing. Okay, and then how was the GDP? No credit. Nobody is ready to give us any credit option. No credit help. Investors took their money back. Okay, they backed off. They did not give their money, or they were not ready to invest. So nammaloda condition eppadi irundichu, nammaloda fiscal deficit eppadi irundichu appadina, there is a comparison. Children, I want you to note these figures. The gross fiscal deficit in 1980-81, okay, 1980-81 beginning la eppadi irundichu appadina 1980s la start aachu nama paathom. It was 9% of GDP. GDP oda 9% namakku deficit. 1990-91 la enna mari change aachuna, it increased to 12.7%. Just see, within 5-year plans, adhaadu or 10 years gap la we have had so much increase in the deficit. Deficit la there was a change of 3.7%. How big it is, isn't it, children? And how was the internal debt? Internal debt na nama country kulleye prevalent debt, we owing the government, others owing us. Idu eppadi irunduchuna in 1980-81, because when loans were given by the banks, recover பண்றது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருந்துச்சு. Recovery of loans was very difficult. So in 1980-81, the internal debt was 35% of GDP, and in 1990-91, 53% of GDP became internal debt. So yarume avanga loans repay pannadadunala you don't have the money. Debt nale someone owes you money, yaro ungalku panam kudukanum. Tax, loan repayment, interest, all these were not done. Okay, there was no effort into all these things. So all this happened when it was called the Chandrasekhar government. They had to face so much, and how did we come out of it is when the new government took place. I don't want to clean this side even because it tells entirely. So when the new government of Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, he took his place as PM, they appointed Mr. Manmohan Singh as the financial minister. So yaar irundha appo? Mr. Manmohan Singh was a financial minister, and then they brought in these economic reforms. So adukku munadi enna aachu appadina, we had to borrow some $2.2 billion. This was the amount we borrowed from IMF. And not simply, India had to pledge 67 tons of gold. How much gold? 67 tons of gold. Okay, after this only Manmohan Singh's thing came. Okay, so 67 tons of gold airlift pannanga. What do you mean by airlift? So when something is transported through aircraft, especially when there is an emergency situation. So we have seen, during floods in Chennai, many people were airlifted. We saw that a pregnant woman was airlifted. She got into the helicopter, nama paathom illaya. So that is called airlifting. So that was an emergency situation. Romba quiet ah, yarukum theriyama they took it. They airlifted 67 tons of gold to pledge it and get around $2.2 billion to adjust this situation. So there were controversies. Eppadi idha kondu polam. There was problems transporting it. So there were big hectic things that came in the decision. Nalla nariya problems and controversies vanduchu. Then the then Prime Minister Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, he explained the situation to the country and to the creditors, which brought peace there. So he explained what was happening, why was it done, what is the situation we are in, and then Mr. Manmohan Singh's economic reforms were introduced, which we will be discussing in the next session. We will be continuing with some other steps of whatever we have done before coming in for the new economic policy in the next session. I hope you have understood all these. So what and all we have faced, mixed economy irundichu. Because of the self-reliance, we wanted to have self-reliance. There were restrictions which slowed down the growth and development of industrial sector as well as the economy, Indian economy. So 1985 we faced a twin deficit. There was a deficit in the Indian trade balance, okay, and there was a fiscal deficit also, and the petroleum bills were getting huge. Adu nammalaala repay pannave mudiyala because we did not have any exports. And in 1990 we had to go through a depreciation of rupee, and no financial institutions or other countries were ready to lend us. Yarume namakku lend pandradhukku ready ah illa, even IMF, World Bank, any other countries, because our situation was that bad and development policies were not fruitful. We couldn't raise funds through taxation. We saw that we had a huge internal debt. In the 10 years India had to face a lot. So after the Gulf War, petroleum bills were huge, import bills were huge, and exports were very, very less. And when Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao took his position as the Prime Minister, we had to pledge 67 tons of gold by airlifting to borrow $2.2 billion from IMF to handle the situation. And then came the economic reforms. What did these economic reforms do? We have a wonderful increase in the foreign reserve. So as on April 2018, we had the highest, like $426.1 billion. So in the economic reforms nala da nammaloda foreign exchange reserves increase aachu. So what are those reforms? We will be discussing in the coming sessions. I hope you have taken notes of all these things. If not, please do so. Thank you, and may you all have a wonderful day today, children.